of the Empire State Building.
New York. Platinum recording artist, platinum songwriter, movie star, and now you're on your second leg of your tour. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm very excited. We're back at it, and we're coming back to my hometown of New York. We're excited to be playing the Beacon. I've been looking forward to the show for a long time. The Beacon has sort of been on my bucket list of venues, so we're very excited.
I was at your show at the Beacon last on May, and I haven't seen you in so long. And so when I was there and screaming along, and I see everyone just having this love for you, I ran home and I told my boyfriend, I'm like, babe, you have to come to the next Dress Show with me, because the way that these fans, including myself, scream, the diehard fans that you have, like it's really unreal. How do you feel from the stage side of that, still getting the love after all the work we put in these years?
It's pretty awesome. They really are the most unbelievably loyal fan base and so supportive. Great example of like the kind of people my fans are. 2 nights ago in New Haven, we had an epic failure, like a meltdown of epic proportions on stage, where all of the power at the venue went out in the middle of my show, in the middle of Body Language. And it was sort of unprecedented. I didn't really know what to do. And the fans just like took over and started singing the whole song. And it was like a really touching moment. And like I had to like sort of bow out and like go backstage and figure out what I was going to do, because the power was off. And they just like kept singing, and they were like chanting and cheering. It was like a very cool moment, and just goes to show how great they are, you know?
Yeah, there's nothing like seeing it in person, and we're so excited that you have so much love when you come here to New York City. I'm just so excited to see you tomorrow night. Wait, I told you that I saw you your last show in May, and do you remember the girl that came up to you and asked you and told you that you were so underrated in Horton Hears a Who?
I actually do remember. Was that you? Oh my God, that's so funny. That's like a great joke too, because I have one line in the whole movie.
And I told you, I was like, and it was the best line. I was like, it was the best line.
That's awesome.
But also, I think a lot of people like don't realize that you are Theodore, Alvin and the Chipmunks, like all the franchise. So when people realize and put that together, and a whole bunch of people growing up realize that you are even part of that childhood for them, like there's so much of an onion when it comes to you and the layers that people have love for you and sometimes don't even realize. How is that when people give you love for even your voice acting roles?
It's great. The voice acting thing was just like kind of a bonus, and sort of this thing that happened as a result of being in the public eye through music, I think. And I loved it. I sort of just kind of fell in love with it. And, obviously every kid grows up watching cartoons, and you never really think like, who are the voices behind that? But once I discovered this like whole new industry and how it worked, I kind of fell in love with it. And all of the people that do the voiceovers are such interesting people and so talented, and they have so many cool voices up their sleeve. And I remember I did the Young Justice League, which is a cartoon, on, I think it's on Max now, but I walked in shooting the first season. It was like some of the people that did like Scooby-Doo and Winnie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like guys that I grew up listening to, and now I'm in the room doing a gig with them. It's so cool. And yeah, people come to my show. Some people come to the concerts and they're like, hey, look, we're not even like, we don't really know your music that well. We're just huge Alvin and the Chipmunks fans. Do you mind signing this? It's pretty wild. Yeah, people from all different, aspects of my career will come to a show, and yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And also, I have to say, congratulations. Last month, we were celebrating 20 years since Beautiful Soul. You posted awesome throwbacks. We saw Hilary Duff in there, JoJo, the music video. Do you know where the music video girl is now?
I don't.
I know.
The last I heard, she was doing some sort of indie movies or something, but I haven't caught up with her or heard from her really since that shoot. But I hope she's doing well. Actually, two girls at my concert last night showed up wearing the head wraps that she wears in the Beautiful Soul video when we're in the car together. And they're like, we wore the Beautiful Soul girl handkerchiefs over our head. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks great. She was great. I forget her name, but she was super cute and so sweet. That whole cast was great. And Mark Webb, who directed it, is like a super rock star director now. I think that was like one of his last music videos. And then he went on to do like Spider-Man. But yeah, that was a great time. We shot in Peekskill, I think it was, and I look at that music video. It's so classic looking and feeling, and just nostalgic for me. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you're so tapped in with socials. I mean, just seeing the 20-year was so fun. And I love also seeing like the TikToks you do and your wifey's always on board, like she's downsies. How is that? Like, are you scrolling a lot and tapping in, or do you try to balance it out?
First of all, she's finding all these trends, and I'm like just on board. And she knows my sense of humor. We both have very similar, we both have a very similar sense of humor. So everything that she likes, she knows I'm gonna like, and vice versa. But we just shot another one last night at the music venue before I went on stage. She's really good at like finding the simple ones, because I get frustrated with that app, if I'm being totally honest. Like the really hard ones, I'm like, I don't want to spend 3 hours editing. But so she finds like the really simple ones and we do them together, and it's super cute. And yeah, we did one on the tour bus the other day with our dog, and yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one. Oh, so cute. I also want to talk about Fire We Feast. You were on the last dab, Truth or Dab.
Yeah.
And you were so respectful. Like you're like, I'm not gonna put people on blasts. I'm not gonna put cities on blasts. Pretty interesting though, because I think of this a lot when I see artists that I've performed for a long time, some songs that you would cut because you just sing them too much. But that must be such a love-hate relationship, because these are also songs that the crowd gets so wild for. So speak on that.
Yeah, you mean in terms of my old songs? Yeah, I mean, the Truth or Dab thing was a lot of fun. Did they have me talk about old songs or something, or was I like,
Yeah, they ask you like, what song would you cut from your set list if you sing them too much?
I see. Yeah, I mean, when a song is going great, it's going great. And sometimes certain songs just don't have the same reaction in every city with every crowd. And then so sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe we should cut that. But then in the next city, it goes super well. But if I'm being honest, like, I've spent literally 2 decades accumulating these songs and building this catalog of music that I can play now for 90 minutes to 2 hours every night. And it's like, I think it's a testament to like all the hard work and all the time that we've put in. And I don't really have to think that hard anymore about the set list. I mean, other than adding new music from whatever my latest project is, like the old stuff is sort of built in and it's there, and I can always sort of call on it when I need it. And that's a really good feeling and a very rare thing to have as an artist in pop. Early on in your career, you're usually doing many covers because you don't have enough songs to like keep it going. It's like in stand-up comedy, you're dying for 10 minutes of great comedy. It's like, it's the same in pop, you're trying to like keep a crowd engaged for a super long time. So I don't ever bag on my songs because it's what got me here and it's what keeps the fans coming back.
Yeah. Something that you also refused to answer, which I thought was so sweet, is that you didn't want to reveal what is your least favorite city to perform in. But I want to ask, like, what makes like a city not fun to perform? Like, you probably have a few ideas in your head, but like, what makes it not the funnest to perform at?
I mean, if I'm being totally honest, there's a certain city in Southern California where people are just so cool that they'll like, even my friends, I'll bag on my friends because they're my best friends, but like I'll have a guest list and they're like, yeah, yeah, we'll come to the show. And they'll show up like an hour late to the show. I think it's pretty exclusive to Los Angeles, if I'm being honest, but I can say that about the city because I lived there now for 20 years, but I'm an LA local. But I think honestly, every city has a different dynamic, and especially across the world. Like if you travel to, non-English speaking countries, it's super fun because you get to experience fan interactions with a lot of people who don't even speak English, but they have the music as like the common denominator. And that's like super interesting. In America, it's pretty much the same across the board. Everyone is, was there at the same time and in the same country. So I wouldn't say there's like that big of a difference in terms of the crowds from like, Texas to Tennessee to New York. New York is a little more special for me, I think, just because I grew up there and it's where it all started, and it's like the tri-state area is where the heart of, the heartbeat of my career. And
Roots, yeah.
they can, and so I have like a fondness for New York. But yeah, I mean, the fans across the globe are just the best. They've been super good to me.
And it's cool seeing that you even have fans that are your own peers. You just hopped on the podcast with Lance Bass, and it was cool seeing that because you guys are both like products of boy bands and the pop world and the pop kingdom. So you guys have a lot in common and to chat about. So how cool is that when you're out about and you're doing your thing and then you see your peers and someone that went through so much similarities than you did in your career?
Yeah, I mean, Lance was a part of a much bigger boy band, a phenomenon of a boy band than I was. But it is cool, and it's nice to see people from earlier years that are still thriving and doing well. And he's got a beautiful family, and he lives pretty close by to me too. I didn't realize until I did his podcast how close he was. He's like kind of a neighbor actually, and it's awesome, and it brought back a rush of memories from those days. And I looked up to those guys in a lot of ways. The NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys of the world were early influences on my budding pop career. And Lance is like one of the sweetest guys ever. He's just such a nice guy. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, I think a couple of the guys from Dream Street are coming to the New York show tomorrow night. So if you don't come to see me, you can come to see them in the audience.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, wait, what are their names? Which ones?
I'm not going to tell you. That's a
Oh
reveal.
my gosh, come
I have to
on.
show up. You want to find out, you got to come to the show.
Yes, fair, fair. Also congrats on The Masked Singer. You're the best turtle ever. You were sharing how it was really hard to keep it all a secret and how they take it so seriously. That experience, I mean, I'm a huge Masked Singer fan. So how was that experience? Like what were some of the big moments for you working on that project?
The biggest moment for me was just playing for Robin Thicke every night, who is literally my one of like two or three vocal heroes in my life. And I honestly did the show because of that. Like just being around him, is like one of the reasons why I wanted to do it. Because it is not an easy task. Like you're in this beautiful costume. The costume department won't bag on them, but it is the hardest thing to wear and perform in and breathe in, let alone sing in. So I had a great time. I was thrilled while it was happening. I was also super thrilled when it was over and I didn't have to be in that costume any longer. You'd have like onions for lunch and it would just haunt you all day because you were just stuck inside your own filth. Anyway, I loved it though. It was awesome. And, I got to curate my own songs and work with the music director. And, they give you a lot of leeway with choosing the songs that you want to perform, which is great because I know my voice better than anybody in terms of what I'm good at singing. And I think we picked some great songs and it was a great experience, and I got to meet a lot of cool people, including Hunter Hayes, who's now a good buddy of mine as a result of that show. And Rob Gronkowski, who I love because I'm a big football guy. So it was a great time.
Did people hit you up asking if you were the turtle, like that personally?
Yeah, my mom, like they make you sign like 100 NDAs. You can't tell anybody. The only people that really knew was Katie, my wife, and like my manager, and maybe, I think that was honestly really it. And you have to disclose who you tell. But I didn't tell anybody in my family because it's like, you don't want it getting out. So, but like the first or second episode in, somebody told her like, that really sounds like your son. And she emailed me like, I know your secret, because she could tell
Wait, why
maybe
did she email you?
I don't know. She just like sent me a text or maybe it was a text. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she was like, I know your secret. And I had to say I can't confirm or deny what you know.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
hard to hide it
cool.
from your own mom, but yeah, a lot of people started figuring it out. And I think when I just stopped replying to them, I think they figured, yeah, okay, he probably can't say anything.
Cool. Yeah. Um, I'm really happy that you also put to rest some rumors. T-Pain has been lying on your name, and I'm sorry that this story has been haunting you for a long time.
It hasn't really haunted me. It was just like an odd thing. Like I love T-Pain. Like there's no beef whatsoever. But I think he genuinely thinks I like took all of this money. And I'm like, no, dude. I think I just was like, some one of the girls was like leaning on me like with her sob story and it got me. And I just gave it all to one girl. Anyway, yeah. I
Yeah.
wasn't pull one over at a strip club with strip club money. A bunch of singles, they get
But
rich.
when you shared the truth to that story, I was like, that is the sweetest, most Justin McCartney thing like that I've ever heard. Like, I would not want Justin McCartney in a strip club to do anything other than that ever. So thank you.
Yeah, it was great. It was a good time. I saw him recently in Los Angeles, and it was just such a blast from the past. I see he did like a private show in LA for some industry people, and I went with a buddy, and he saw me standing there, was like, "What's up?" And it was great to catch up with him. And he's got a beautiful wife and family, and yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah. I also want to talk about how your music, even your new music, it's growing up with us, your biggest fans. Your latest album, I mean, you have your song "Tie the Knot," and then you have your song "Let's Make a Baby Together," and it's just fun seeing that. So, How cool is it to see that your own fans are now like growing up with you? The themes, the maturity, our life milestones together.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it, and it's really nice, I mean, I was talking and singing about things at 16 that most 16-year-olds are going through, and times change, people grow up, and yeah, I think that is kind of one of the cool parts of making music is that you sort of become this touchstone for a lot of fans at different mile markers in their life. And it's the beauty of music and getting old.
That part, bro, that part this past weekend, I'm so excited. I tied the knot. Well, my
Oh my gosh,
fiance.
congratulations. That's amazing. Where'd you guys get married?
Yeah, he proposed to me in California, where my family's from.
Oh, it was a
So
proposal.
yeah,
Oh, amazing. Congrats. I thought you said it was your wedding. That's amazing. I love that.
yeah. Oh, he proposed to me, and so I just wanted to ask you. I mean, you've been with your wifey now. It's been a second, and like, what advice do you have to people that are talking about getting engaged or ready to tie the knot, from what you've been through with your wife and on the road?
Yeah, I think it's just like, learning how to give and take and make sacrifices for each other and communicate and always find the funny. I think like humor is like such a big part of like having a lighthearted and fun relationship, at least for me. And I think it's like one of the common threads that we have is I mean, she's way funnier than me, but I enjoy
Mhm.
I enjoy, just like making jokes and having a good time and, taking life not too seriously together. I think that's like good advice.
Thank you. Thank you. And just seeing your guys' relationship like online, and I know you have your own world offline too, but there's just so many of your fans that are like, "Oh my gosh, we're so happy for you," and seeing you happy and how you talk about her. Like, why out of all the women in the world, like why did you know that your wifey was just so special for you?
She's in the room staring at me right now, like you better answer this. Um, she's just the greatest. Like I said, when we first met, I was like super attracted to her and she was super cute and she was also a little sassy because in the situation where we met, she was trying to like close up shop at a bar and I was like, I was getting some privilege at a bar from the guy who ran the place and she didn't like it. So I felt super bad about it and I was also attracted to her. And so I kind of was like attracted to a little bit of like the edge that she had, she was kind of like, I don't care who you are, what you're doing, like get out of here. That kind of turned me on a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So that was part of it. And then I grew to know her and just we are very much the same person. Like we love the same things, we enjoy the same things. We're both huge foodies. We love to travel. We both love all the same comedy, jokes. Um, yeah, I mean, we just have a lot in common.
Wait, how did you shoot your shot after that? Did you just like ask the owner for her number or something?
No, I asked her for I gave her my number, you know, and said like, yeah, I think it's a little threatening sometimes at a bar to ask somebody for their number. So I just kind of gave her mine and my name, and I was like, you know, call me if you feel like it. I would like to take you out. And then she did.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, beautiful, beautiful. And we also want to talk about what you have going on your covers at your show. You decided to give love to Sabrina Carpenter, and we see you're performing her cover, Please, Please, Please. Why did you decide to do that?
You know, I kind of just fell in love with that song and her album. I think she's got really great pop songs and that are super, you know, just really well produced. And I just love that song. I think it's sort of I think honestly it's a more classic song than Espresso. I loved Espresso, but it's felt like a very now moment where Please, Please, Please has this sort of timeless quality to the lyric. I feel like we'll be hearing that song for years to come, actually. But and I just love singing it. It's a fun song to sing as a vocalist. And I knew the fans would like it. They sing every word in the audience. So
Oh, yes. And we can't wait to see you sing it to us tomorrow night here in New York City. Just love to your fans here and why New York City is so special for you to perform. It's your home.
it is my home, and I'm looking forward to coming back tomorrow night. I don't know when this is coming out, but maybe it's tonight. I don't know. But the Beacon Theater, the 18th, it's going to be epic. I have an incredible opening act too, Lorelei, who's this amazing singer that you guys should come see. And yeah, it's going to be a fun night. Lots of new vibes, lots of nostalgic vibes, and I look forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there with my fiance. He's flying in. He changed his flight to make your show.
Let's go. I love it.
Before we sign off, every Thursday I do a segment called Cringe or Naw. And you already touched on how you're a big football fan, but what about this? Is this cringe or not, Jesse? Fantasy football.
Is it cringe or not? Nah, well, first of all, I love fantasy football, but I had to put it down because I was just getting too wrapped up in it. I would spend hours on the waiver wire, just like, you know, trying to find the best team and looking at the injury reports. And, you know, half the day would go by and I'm still on ESPN app, like trying to put together my team. But I do love it. It is a lot of fun. And also like all of my friends that were a part of it are super competitive. So it just makes it even more fun. So
Did you ever win?
I never won. I've come close. I think I finished second or third, you know, out of 12 or 15 guys, but it's hard. It's hard to win.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And then we have Halloween coming up. Do you have any ideas yet? Or you're just like, I'm just focusing on my fans and the show?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna be coming through Kansas on Halloween. So Katie wanted to do like the Wizard of Oz with everyone in the band since we'll be coming through Kansas. But yeah, so I still have to decide if I'm gonna be the Tin Man or the Scarecrow. I
Yes.
think the Tin Man. The Scarecrow sounds a little itchy.
Yeah, I think so
But yeah,
too.
yeah.
Oh, well, Jesse, I just have to say, like a true, true fan from the beginning from Green Street. I'm so thankful for you, the music you've continued to put out, the joy. You're always just so classy, so graceful, always showing love. And this is a dream come true just for me. I'm so excited to see you tomorrow night. And I just want to say thank you. And thank you to your wifey. She's a real one. You got a real one. You did it, sis. And you too, Jesse. So congratulations on everything.
Awesome. And thank you, Crystal. This was a great interview and you're killing it. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
The 100.